Warning, this video contains lots of cursing, so if you don't like it, then don't fucking watch the video.
Hey, watch your fucking profanity!
You just cursed too, nigga!
We are on.
Oh.
Hello, ladies and germs. It is I, salHUNNIT, joined by my good friends, Kevdog Productions, and Michael Vsauce from Mario and Friends.
Oh.
I'm surprised neither one of you played any SpongeBob earache or 10-hour videos.
Yeah, I was wondering that. I kind of wanted to, but you know what? I didn't.
My phone won't charge.
Mission Control, we have a belligerent dumbass.
Never mind.
Last night, I watched Avengers Endgame, and I'm pretty sure Mike and Kevin watched it at different times.
I saw it Thursday night.
Yeah. I saw it Saturday.
All right, like we said, we're gonna keep the first half spoiler-free, and then the rest spoiler territory. So, my opinion, it definitely topped Infinity War by a long shot. The 3 hours were definitely worth it, and I wouldn't exactly say that it ever got boring once, but it did have some cringy moments that we will talk about later on in the second half. But overall, it was an amazing movie, the best movie I've ever seen in my whole entire life, if I may say.
I pretty much agree with most of that, but I have a lot of favorite movies, and Endgame's definitely up there. Oh my god, it was so fucking good.
It was.
I was so anxious, like, Thursday when I was waiting to see it. Like, I was jittering in my desk, I was, like, shaking, I was getting goosebumps constantly. It was quite the...
I think I got it. And I got it. Yep, I got it.
Yo, you wanna send that link to me? Oh my god, dude, I'm about to watch it again tonight, and I'm gonna cry again.
I'm watching it again tomorrow, because I get to leave school early. Do you want the link to Sal or not?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'll just send it to this chat.
Mike, would you like to talk about your opinions on Endgame?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I thought it was a really amazing movie, but some parts of it I thought didn't stand up to Endgame. My example would be how Thanos is in Endgame. I don't think he was as good as he was in Infinity War.
Yeah, he was very desperate, that's kind of why.
And it was 2014 Thanos, so I mean, like,
Yeah,
you know,
Blue Thanos.
blue Thanos.
Blue Thanos.
Finest.
He ever since he was an ex-member of the Blue Man Group, along with Amazing Spider-Man 2 Electro, he then became
Oh
pink.
god, my computer is a virus now? No, never mind.
Are you two done with your opinions and stuff?
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Or do you
Alright.
guys have...
Jim Carrey, my daddy.
I'm wrong. The doctor thinks you're basic.
Nobody cares. Meow.
What the fuck is that? That's not a headshot.
Oh, is that all you got?
No. Thank you for asking.
They copied that from the Quicksilver from the X-Men movies. I had 9,000 steps today. I'm so cool.
It is only game.
That's a terrible movie. It's gonna suck dick. Anyways, continue.
Alright, as I was saying was, do either one of you two still have any input, or would you like to continue to the spoiler territory?
I'm still not sure if it's my absolute favorite movie of all time, but it's definitely past top 5. Like, it's so damn good, man. It's been hyped up for 11 years.
Well, Endgame has been hyped up for a year, but Infinity War was the one that was mainly 10 years in the making, while
Yeah.
Endgame was technically 11 years in the making. Like, in a way, yes. So, yeah, you are right. For me, greatest movie I've ever watched, best movie, period.
I think I'm ready to move on to spoiler territory, so if people who haven't seen it, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched Endgame already, go do so. Come back to this later at a later date. So, yeah, because there's no possible way of reviewing the game without spoiling anything.
I mean, you can, but it's just really hard. I don't know if
All right, which one of you would like to start it off?
Definitely not me.
All right, I'll start it off. We begin with Hawkeye at his secret little home that he lives in that was shown in Avengers Age of Ultron. After a couple of minutes or so, his family just disintegrate from Thanos' snap, obviously, from Infinity War. Everyone knew it was gonna happen, but watching it unfold, it was just...
It was very hard to see.
And then it skips to Tony Stark in space with Nebula.
There you go.
Honestly, the beginning scene with Iron Man and Nebula, for me, it was pretty nice. It was cool that Tony Stark,
I thought it was really cute because I like the little interaction that they had.
especially with the finger football, yeah, that was
a great interaction. I love that.
and then that's when it transitions to Tony Stark on the ship with his helmet, and he is speaking to Pepper, or really thinking that he is speaking to Pepper, and we'll get the message. It's basically the scene from the trailers. And then after a while, he turns off the helmet message, he goes to sleep. Nebula sees him on the floor sleeping and picks him up and puts him on the seat. And then a giant bright light is outside of the ship that he's in. And what do you know? It's Captain Marvel.
It's one of the things they predicted back in the trailer when we were discussing it.
Yay!
Yeah.
So far from that, when I was watching it, I got hyped and I felt really bad for Hawkeye. And notice when I was looking at Tony, he looked a lot more skinnier. He was barely eating, didn't have any food or water to survive another day. And then he said that the oxygen levels were gonna run out in the morning. So he definitely looked like he was dying.
I mean, Captain Marvel takes him back down to the Earth.
And then when he gets back to the Earth, he's in critical condition, and he has infections. Well, one on his chest. At least.
He looked terrible. It's true.
And he was just freaking out. And then my favorite part in that scene, when he's reunited with the remaining Avengers, is when he talks to Rocket and then makes a joke on how he thought he was a billionaire.
Oh my god, that was very, 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 very silly.
The one thing that I was looking forward to in Endgame was how the Avengers would interact with Rocket, mainly because he's a talking raccoon, and it's not something that they'd see every single day.
Michael, you continue.
Well, I mean, what I remember is that once they got back down to Earth, he didn't meet, but he reunited with Steve Rogers and all them, and he saw that Pepper is still alive, and they hug, and then I don't exactly remember.
I remember next. All right, so after Tony has a bit of an argument with Steve, while he yanks the IV out of him like a dumbass, and then he just falls, he just conks out on the ground. It's that one scene that we got from that was uploaded where Captain Marvel has a little discussion, and she's a little cocky asshole, and then she's like, "I'm just gonna go and kill Thanos because feminine power."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "No, you're not stealing our spotlight. You're gonna help us, but you're not gonna kill him." Got that? Good. All
and
right.
then they shoot themselves up to space.
Hold on. I want to narrate this part. This is probably one of my favorite parts in the movie because of how fucking funny it was to me. I see Thanos in his farm doing this Thanos stuff, grabbing some of his corn, cooking it up, and I see him in a t-shirt, and I'm just looking over. I'm just looking over to my brother, and I'm just fucking laughing my ass off. And then Thanos just looks up, and then this Captain Marvel crashes in. And then they all hold him down. Thor chops off his arm like how it should have ended. Then they realize that the Infinity Stones are nowhere to be seen.
And then once they go back on the planet, Thanos just looks burnt on one of his sides. He just looks like Two-Face. He said that he used the suns to destroy them.
Yeah.
They're like, he's gotta be lying. It's gotta be in this farm. It's all inside the corn. Everybody search the corn. And then Nebula's like, my father is a liar. And he's like, I know my daughter well. And then Thor just goes straight for the head. I see it just fall off, and I laughed my ass off. And then I will remember this line forever.
Rocket asked, what did you do? And he said, I went for the head.
Yeah.
And then for me, I thought that was dark because
Like,
that was
I thought
Disney
it was funny
then.
at first because it was like I went for the head, but like I realized that it really wasn't supposed to be a joke and it was supposed to be kind of dark because he wasn't satisfied at all. Like he just walked into the sunset.
For me, I thought it was dark because it was Disney that made that. And they actually let them chop his arm off and then his head. I was like, oh.
Balls.
And then from that beginning scene, like, I thought the start of Endgame was just intense. Like, they are not holding back. And then it skips forward into 5 years, and Ant-Man is still in the quantum realm, and then a rat helps him escape. Somehow it just happens. I honestly hate it when that happens, when I'm stuck in the quantum realm, like, for 5 years. I mean, it happens all the time for me. It's annoying.
Yeah, I just get stuck in the quantum realm. Kind of sucks.
It happens to me every week. Anyway, and then he goes to a memorial somewhere, I don't know, probably at a cemetery or downtown, where it talks about all the people who disappeared, and the majority of his friends were disintegrated. And then one of those names, when he was trying to find his daughter to see if she was still alive, he saw his own name. So then he went back home, and then he found his daughter, now a lot older. Everyone else, gone. Everyone he knew, gone. And then we go to the Avengers compound, and Black Widow's talking to Rocket Raccoon and Nebula, Captain Marvel, and War Machine. And they're in different places, and she's stuck at the Avengers compound. And then they just stop talking after a bit, and then Captain America walks in and says his famous line of,
But I'm always telling people to move on. Some do, but not us.
and then they see that Ant-Man is outside of the compound. And then they let him in, and then he explains the whole time traveling thing about the quantum realm and how time doesn't exist or really matter inside of the quantum realm. But you can use it to time travel because he was in it for 5 hours, but it was 5 years in the real time. So he found some sort of loophole for him to time travel. And then they go to Tony Stark, and at this point, he has a daughter, Morgan Stark. Honestly, that kind of made me happy, mainly because I thought that Tony Stark would have left an unborn child with Pepper rather than having a child and then leaving it.
The story. Once upon a time, we're going to went to bed. The end.
That is a horrible story.
Come on, that's your favorite story. Love you tons.
I love you 3,000.
3,000. That's crazy. Go to bed, or I'll sell all your toys.
And then we saw the rescue armor helmet on top of Morgan Stark. And Captain America and Scott Lang go to Tony Stark's house. It's a small little place near the river. And then they speak to him about time traveling. And then, you know, the good stuff, you know. And then they make a reference to Back to the Future by talking about not talking to your past self and not betting on games in the future. But then Tony Stark,
can I mention something that I have with the end of Endgame? So, from what we've seen, it looks like Peter and Ned are still in high school, but like they're still in high school and it's been 5 years. I don't get that. So in Infinity War, they're probably sophomores.
they're freshmen.
They're still freshmen.
Yes.
That's only 3 years, and it took 5 years after Infinity War. I still have that problem. It's just, I mean, I liked their little reunited hug, and then they cried. But yeah, that's kind of a plot hole.
So far, it was pretty interesting to me, at least. Other people have said that the first and second act were pretty slow, but for me, I thought it was really interesting. And
No, I like what they did because it doesn't feel 3 hours. That's the thing. it's because they lengthen the story. Like instead of rushing it a little bit, they take more time with the story, which I like.
Throughout the whole movie, didn't feel like 3 hours. Like, I was just so invested. It never felt like that.
Yeah, honestly, it felt so short that it honestly felt like an hour. I'm not even joking. Like sometimes when I walk out, I'm like, shit, was that 3 hours? I feel like Scott Lang when he comes out of the quantum realm. Shit, that was 5 years.
But for him, it was 5 hours, yeah. Captain Marvel got her haircut, like the comics, and then her suit color was a lot different. It was more like Captain Marvel's colors from the comics. And then they actually gave Rocket Raccoon his costume, or like his outfit from the comics. It had like a red bandana around his neck and a little blue jumpsuit. And I found that pretty cool. I really did.
They had a lot more things from the comics.
I really like the Iron Man suit in this one because it reminded me of the Iron Man cartoons, because the sleeves on his suit were gold, which I really appreciated. Like, I found it amazing.
Yeah.
They could tie that into the movies without making it look silly. Like, I was just amazed. Like, I absolutely loved it. The fan service in that movie was absolutely amazing. Speaking of fan service, they actually reference a character called Namor in Avengers Endgame when Okoye talked about in Wakanda there was a water earthquake which could lead up to the anti-hero called Namor. It was like an Aquaman type character that came out before Aquaman, and he's supposed to be the first mutant because for some reason he has wings on his feet. But he might be the new villain in Black Panther 2 or a future Black Panther movie. I like how Marvel is getting smaller characters and making them household names. Alright, anyway, back to the food review. They explain it to Tony Stark, but then Tony declines, so then they go to someone who they say has a bigger mind. And then I was like, this is when they show Professor Hulk, and then they did. And I was not mad. Like, I was not disappointed.
I expected Professor Hulk to be there after the redesign we saw of Given. I'm like, yeah, that's Professor Hulk. All right, we're seeing Professor Hulk. That's gonna be cool.
And I found it funny that they just kept Bruce Banner's voice.
18 months in the gamma lab. I put the brains and the brawn together, and now look at me.
And then a bunch of kids walked up to Hulk and then asked for a selfie. And then Ant-Man asked if they wanted to take a picture with him. And they were like, I don't know who that is. The Hulk was like, come on.
And he's like, come on, take the damn picture.
He was like, take your goddamn phone or something like that. And then the Hulk started dabbing.
Damn.
I mean, to me it was cringy, but one of my friends said that he found it funny because he was trying to be hip with the kids.
Yeah, that's what I like with Professor Hulk. Because in past MCU movies, we've always seen Bruce Banner, like, you know, like very awkward, kind of like anxious around others. But like now he has this big boost of confidence. Now he's kind of like hip and cool with the kids.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's mainly because he has the best of both worlds, the brawn and the brains. But yeah, I really did appreciate that. And the fact that they gave him clothes as well, I found that funny as well. And then once they explain it to him, they go back to the headquarters, they try out the whole time traveling, and then they kind of mess up, which was obvious. But like, I still liked it, mainly because they turn Ant-Man old, and then into a baby, and then a kid.
Somebody peed my pants.
Time travel! And then Tony Stark overnight, he was trying to figure out some sort of device that everyone could wear so that they can time travel without any effects happening, because he gets the whole old baby and kid Ant-Man dilemma. So then he made a device to go around everyone's wrists so then they wouldn't have that dilemma.
Shit.
What are you doing up, little miss?
Shit.
Nope.
So then afterwards, he heads to the headquarters, gives everyone that, and then the Guardians arrive on Earth, and then Rocket and the Hulk go into New Asgard and then try to find Thor. And then what they find is a guy that looks like
Melted ice cream.
he looked like Mordecai from that one regular show episode where he was in Dumptown. Korg and Meek was still alive, which I was fine with.
Hold on. This is a big ass question that I've been asking myself. Shower thoughts. But like, after the Thanos invasion and Infinity War, where have Valkyrie, Korg, and Mick been? That's what I call him. I still call him Mick. Like, did they survive? Did they swim out into space somehow? And somehow, some way or another, they made it back to Earth. Maybe they're okay, and just like the explosion somehow didn't kill them, and was such a strong blast that blasted them to Earth. That's my official conclusion.
The one scene that I didn't like in the movie was the Fortnite scene. I feel like it was just like a giant ad placement.
It wasn't ad placement, but it did like Thor's like raging. That was funny because
Nude Master 69.
Thor, New Master 69 just called me a shitbag again.
Wait, is that what he said? I don't think it was.
He called me either a piece of shit or just a shit or a shitbag.
I think
it's one of the three.
I think it was dickhead.
Thor, he's back. That kid on the TV just called me a dickhead again.
Noob Master.
Yeah, Noob Master 69.
It was one.
And Thor was just fat, and then he grew his hair out and a giant beard, and I just didn't. I mean, it was funny like at the beginning.
Fun,
like,
yeah, it was funny at first.
And then there were some women in the theater that were like, no, like it was funny for a while. I just grew tired of it.
They just kind of played it out as a joke now. And there's many videos that I completely 100% agree with, but they kind of ruined Thor. They did. They ruined Thor.
I think that was the point of it. Like, he killed Thanos, and he just wasn't satisfied, so he just went to drinking, and he let himself go. I mean, yeah, they ruined Thor, but that was I feel like it was for a good reason.
I still don't like the whole, like, Thor being a drunkie the whole damn film. Like...
Oh, yeah, me too. Like,
I wish somehow, like, when he held, okay, so when he got Mjolnir back, somehow, some magic, some Asgard magic, could have, like, turned him back to his old, thin Chris Hemsworth shape.
Oh, yeah,
But
I was
no,
hoping
he
that
was
too,
still,
but
he was still a drunk fuck.
Yeah,
And, like,
they just made the soup big wrong.
Is the fact that Drunkle Thor was in the fucking final battle. That's what pisses me off. Drunkle Thor was in the final battle. He was one of the three. That's what I call him, Drunkle Thor. He was in the final battle. He was with Captain America and Iron Man starting the final battle. Like, still, I would prefer this.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, my dad's coworker's Drunkle Thor, but like...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Alright, and then...
Drunkle Thor for life.
And then they get Thor back into the ship, and then they take him to the headquarters. And then, that's when they find Ronan, Hawkeye. And he's in Japan, and he slaughters a guy, and then he says, what do you want, before he kills him. Or like, I said, what do you want? And then that's when Ronan said,
what I want. You can't give me.
And then he stabs him, and he just dies. And like,
wait, slit his throat, and then he stabbed him.
It was depressing hearing that. What I want, you can't give me. Losing your whole family, you're just alone in this world. It's just terrible to see how badly it ruins someone. And then they take him back to the headquarters as well. But he has like a giant sleeve tattoo, and like he just looks badass. And then he calls shotgun on going back to the past as like a test run for the second time, but with Tony Stark's equipment, and it works. And then he finds the family in the past, and that was depressing.
Rewind time, everybody.
Nothing will stand in the way of me and my virginity.
And then they go into their little conference room, and then they figure out where to find specific stones at what time and where and what day, and how to get it, and then how to return it and all that. I think one of them said, if you go at a specific year, you can get three. Three are located in New York.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
It's rewind time.
Yeah, if I control rewind, I would want
My family back.
and
Podcast Brownlee.
Okay, so we just have to break into teams and steal an Infinity Stone from the past. Everyone got it? This is incredibly exciting for me.
Oh, I'm not too hungover for this.
Okay, guys, this is it. This is for all the marbles. We're gonna do the thing, and the thing's gonna get done. Because if we don't do the thing, nothing's gonna get done. It's all of us doing it, and we're gonna win. Because if we don't win, we lose. Superheroes.
He's pretty good at that.
Right?
All right, you heard the man. Stroke those keys, Jolly Green.
See you in a minute.
3, 2, 1. Time travel.
Wow, we're in New York during Avengers 1.
I really liked the one when they go to 2014 and then they show the Guardians of the Galaxy scene when Star-Lord is singing "Come and Get Your Love." I really loved that scene. And then when they get back to New York, and then Professor Hulk sees the Hulk just decimating everything, and then they tell Professor Hulk to smash, and then he's just like, roar, and he's just slightly hitting things around, and then he tosses a bike aside, and then he finds the time stone to, you guessed it, the Ancient One. He has like a whole discussion with her. The Hulk walks up to the Ancient One, but then when he tries taking the time stone by force, because she was like, no, you can't get it, she turns into like a ghost form. I forgot, astral form. That's what it was called. I thought it was cool bringing that back. I don't remember what else happened. Oh, and then Ant-Man, Captain America, and Iron Man try getting the Mind Stone in the old Avengers headquarters.
Mr. Rogers, I almost forgot that suit did nothing for your ass.
No one asked you to look, Tony. I think you look great, Cap. As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
I also like that scene when Captain America was fighting himself.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
Here we go again.
And then the 2012 Captain America says,
I can do this all day.
and then the present one says,
Yeah, I know. I know.
I thought that was really cute.
I honestly did too. Like, I thought that was amazing. Like, I thought it was cute as well. And then once the present day Captain America goes in an elevator, and then they have like a whole reference to Captain America, the Winter Soldier, in the elevator scene. But instead of them all fighting, the way he gets the little case with the stone or like the scepter, he whispers in one of the guy's ears and he says, which I absolutely love. Because in the comics, in this one storyline, Captain America turns into a Nazi, and then he becomes hybrid Captain America. All right, back to what I was saying. After present day Captain America, bless you. And then after present day Captain America beats up 2012 Captain America, that's when he looks at his butt, and then he says,
That is America's ass.
and then I honestly found those comments funny, in my opinion. Like, everyone just started laughing, especially me. And then Ant-Man goes into Iron Man's... I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Arc reactor.
Yeah, his arc reactor. He goes inside of it, and then he gives him a cardiac arrest.
Is that Axe body spray?
Yeah, I had a can on the desk for emergencies. Relax. Can we focus, please?
And then that's when Iron Man dressed up as a guard picks up and then tries running away. And then earlier, Hulk tried to get in the elevator with the Avengers. It was like a different elevator than the one with the Winter Soldier guys. They say that he can't do it because he's too heavy. So then he goes down the stairs. And then once he goes down the stairs, he breaks open the door, and then he smashes into present-day Tony Stark. And then Loki, the past Loki, takes a hold of the scepter and then goes away. So that might lead into a different alternate reality. Then, what else happened? Then they went to Vormir, Hawkeye and Black Widow, I mean. And then the whole Infinity War Red Skull scene just plays out with those two.
Welcome. Natasha, daughter of Ivan. Welcome, Thanos, son of Elos. Clint, son of Edith. Gamora, daughter of Thanos.
Honestly, I didn't really feel much from that scene, in my opinion at least.
I started crying my eyes off.
Surprisingly enough for me, I didn't cry at all, and I'm like really sensitive.
You didn't cry?
I almost cried, but I didn't. Somehow, I don't know. Somehow.
I did.
And I was surprised.
Like when they had the fight between who's gonna do it, and then like when they're both on the grappler, and then Natasha's like, she's like saying,
Let me go.
No! You are way more attractive! You like the waste! Die!
it fucking got me. It was.
And then Hawkeye says,
Tell my family I love them.
and then she says,
You tell him yourself.
but
It
yeah,
got me, dude. It fucking did.
And then Black Widow just got swatted on the ground, and then
Her head split open. That was disturbing.
And then Hawkeye woke up exactly how Thanos woke up, in the water with the stone in his hand. And back to the 2014 part, the Guardian scene. Nebula, War Machine were both on the planet that Star-Lord was at.
This is the part where, spikes come out with skeletons on the end of them and everything. What are you talking about? When you break into a place called the Temple of the Power Stone, there's gonna be a bunch of booby traps.
Okay, alright, go ahead.
And then once they find the stone, War Machine and Nebula try leaving, but then only War Machine left and Nebula couldn't, because Nebula, the 2014 Nebula, got present day Nebula's memories into her head.
What did you do to them?
Nothing. Yet. They're not trying to stop something I'm going to do in our time. They're trying to undo something I've already done in theirs.
This is your future.
It's my destiny.
And that's when Thanos saw present day Thanos when he died.
And that is destiny fulfilled.
Even when he saw that his head got chopped off, he said that he succeeded, that he did well, even though he killed half the universe and he died in the process. Technically speaking, he was fine.
No. He knows.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they find the present day Nebula and then they switch them out. So then the 2014 Nebula goes to the present day with the others, and then they say,
Clint, where's Ned?
and then,
Yeah.
they figured it
I
out.
really wish like Professor Hulk had more rage inside him, but no, he just threw a fucking bench in the lake.
She's not coming back.
Yeah, I mean, after like 5 minutes, they're all right again. My friends pointed that out, that they gave a funeral for Tony Stark, but they didn't give one for Black Widow.
Exactly.
Right.
And you know, like the MCU is all about like female pride. They literally had a scene where they're in the final battle where there's like, we'll handle this.
Should I skip the rest and just head to that part?
Yeah.
Oh no. Before that, all right. No.
My brother absolutely hates that scene. He thought it was super unnecessary.
All right. Before I skip to the final battle scene, I should say that Professor Hulk, Tony Stark made the Iron Gauntlet, but I thought that wouldn't have worked, mainly because Thanos required a gauntlet that was able to hold onto the stones. So I thought that the Iron Gauntlet wouldn't have held on to him, because the gauntlet itself, the one that Thanos wore, that one was specifically made to hold the stone. So I didn't think it would work, but it kind of did. And Professor Hulk put on the gauntlet with the stones on. But I like the key detail, that the fact that in Infinity War, the gauntlet was worn on the left hand, but the one in Endgame was on the right. And then once Hulk put it on, and like he couldn't handle the power, like it was burning him alive. And I thought that he would have like got blown up or something. Like, even though he was in much pain, he wouldn't be able to use he wouldn't be able to snap or use the gauntlet, but somehow he did. He was able to, which kind of surprised me. So then he snapped. Everyone was back. The way that people knew was Hawkeye got a phone call from his wife, and then Nebula was still in the little area where they time traveled and stuff, and then she got Thanos to come out, and then they blew up the headquarters, like everywhere. People were trying to find the others and all, and Hawkeye was stuck in this little section, and then a bunch of aliens started running towards him, but then Professor Hulk, Rocket Raccoon, War Machine were drowning, and then Ant-Man, I'm pretty sure he found them, and then they were all right and all. But Thor, I should talk about that scene. Thor, when he time traveled with Rocket Raccoon, he found Mjolnir and saw that he was still worthy even when he went into the past. And then he took Mjolnir with him, as well as the Reality Stone. And it was funny, mainly because Rocket Raccoon used some sort of weird device to take out a Reality Stone out of Thor's girlfriend.
Rocket Raccoon assaults Natalie Portman with a dildo.
And then the guards that were chasing after him called him a rabbit. But back to where I was. So Thor had Mjolnir and Stormbreaker at the exact same time, and Thanos was outside waiting for the gauntlet, and he had his helmet on top of his sword, his double-edged sword, which I loved, and then he planted it, and he had like a small little talk with Iron Man and Captain America.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
And then they all start fighting, and then my favorite part was when Thor just starts blasting him, and then Thanos started swinging, blocking the attacks, like in a circular motion, and then he basically pins down Thor. Thanos was trying to kill Thor with Stormbreaker, but then Mjolnir is on the ground, and then it gets picked up, and then it gets thrown at Thanos.
I know. Once he did that, we were all just clapping in the theater.
I was in disbelief. Like, I was fanboying out the whole time in the theater. Like, it was the movie had so much fan service, and I loved it.
Ever since he nudged in Age of Ultron, he was slowly becoming worthy, and then once Endgame hit, he was worthy.
No, I'm pretty sure in Age of Ultron, he was able to pick it up, but he didn't want to pick it up because he didn't want to break Thor's feelings. I'm pretty sure all along he was always worthy. Ah, man, it was amazing. And then I love the part when Captain America starts blasting Thanos with Mjolnir by striking him with thunder, beating him down with Mjolnir. It was amazing. I don't know, it was just cool. And then Thanos started beating Captain America down, and then he started striking down at his shield, and then his shield started cracking down, and it just got destroyed. Almost.
Hey, Busted, what material was the double-edged sword made of?
I'm pretty sure the same material as Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. I know that Thanos' armor is also made by the same material, but Captain America's shield obviously is made out of vibranium.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that gets me wondering, because in the first Avengers, when they had the mini fight with Thor when they met him, and then like Thor struck down Mjolnir on Cap's shield, nothing happened. But if the double-edged sword is made of the same material, then how come Mjolnir didn't crack Cap's shield back in the first Avengers?
Well, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure it's because one was a sword and the other one was a hammer.
That could be it. But like, here's the thing: like a hammer at that force with a stronger material, with almost a stronger material, would probably at least have a crack, but then nothing.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then another badass scene was when Captain America got up and he strapped his shield on tightly, even though the shield was basically broken.
In all my years of conquest, violence, slaughter, it was never personal. But I'll tell you now, what I'm about to do to your stubborn, annoying little planet, I'm gonna enjoy it very, very much.
And then his comms, on his comms, it was Falcon.
Captain Remy? Captain Sam, can you hear me? On your left.
Everyone started appearing: Black Panther, the Guardians, the Sorcerer Supreme, the Wakandans. Oh, I'm getting there. Doctor Strange, the Guardians, and
You already
then
mentioned the Guardians.
Spider-Man. And then as soon as I saw Spider-Man, I freaked out. Oh man.
I saw him there. They took off his mask and they started smiling.
And then Giant Man appeared, and then they all started. And then I don't think I mentioned this, but before then, Thanos' army appeared, and it was just Captain America on his lonesome. So it was.
I thought that he would take on everybody.
And then Captain America got his own army.
Avengers!
Assemble.
And then they all started brawling down, and it was just amazing. One of my friends showed me that Howard the Duck was also in that fight scene.
Howard the Duck? My dad?
Howard the Duck was in that fight scene with a gun.
He was.
Yes. Oh yeah, and Valkyrie, Meek, Korg, the Ravagers, everyone was there.
Everybody was there.
Everybody was there.
And people, I peeked over to my brother again, and then I go, and they said Infinity War was the biggest crossover ever.
Nah. And then from that one scene, that final battle, that proved to me that Endgame definitely topped Infinity War.
That final battle was, in my opinion, was better than the Battle of Titan and the Battle of Wakanda, in my opinion.
The Battle of New York, Part 2. I mean, it is technically in New York, I'm pretty sure. Is it? Wait, is the new Avengers headquarters in New York, or is it somewhere else?
It's like upstate New York. It's not like in New York, it's more upstate.
All right, so
but
yeah,
still in the state New York. So
all right, so the
still
Battle of
technically
New
the
York,
state.
Battle of New York Part 2 definitely topped the Battle of Wakanda and Titan. I was just disappointed that they didn't give Doctor Strange much more to do. And then at some point, Captain Marvel pops up. Obviously, everyone thought that Captain Marvel was gonna be the one to kill him or whatever. And then they were basically throwing the Iron Gauntlet around like a football. Like everyone was catching it, throwing it around, and then Spider-Man catched it, and then he was just swinging around with everybody.
Hey, Queens. Heads up.
Hang on, I got you, kid.
And then I like the part when he got on the Pegasus with Valkyrie.
Hey, nice to meet you. Oh my God!
And like he was screaming because
Yeah.
started going down.
I like the Spidey moments we had.
Yeah, me too. And then
Except for the part when Captain Marvel showed up, and then he went,
Hi, I'm Peter Parker.
and then he went, "Oh hey Peter Parker, you got something for me."
I mean, I kind of found that a little cute.
I found that a little cute, but I hated the
but-
line like the delivery.
Yeah, but
she was, cause that's what I hate, like, because because Thor is stronger than Captain Marvel, and Thor couldn't bust through Thanos' ship, but Captain Marvel could bust through Thanos' ship.
But I didn't really like the A-Force scene where Spider-Man was like, how the hell are you gonna go through all of that? And then a bunch of the women appear and say,
She's got help.
it makes no sense because Captain Marvel's already strong enough. She doesn't need.
Exactly.
So
That was just plain unnecessary. Like, I know you want to make like the strong female character,
but
and that's
Captain
okay.
Marvel didn't need it because she was.
You can have like a
No.
strong feminine whatever moment, okay? But you gotta have it make sense.
Captain Marvel didn't need them.
She didn't. It's the sad truth.
It would have made more sense if it was Nebula and then they all started appearing. I mean, I liked it, but it's just that they should have chosen like a better person. I did like the scene when Pepper came in and then Iron Man and Pepper were like back to back.
Yeah, like the
everyone.
back
I
to
like that.
back. It reminded me of that one scene in Iron Man 2.
Oh yeah, with War Machine and Iron Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that scene. Yeah, it definitely reminded me of that as well. And then
I wish they had like all three of them, or like add like Spidey because it's like an Iron Man, because it's like it's technically because it's a Tony Stark, it's a Stark suit.
oh,
Just like
I
have
forgot
it-
to mention the part where Iron Man and Captain America time travel again.
Yeah, and then they're in the 70s.
This is honestly the most touching scene in the movie, like one of the most. It was when Tony Stark met his dad in the past, and then his mom was pregnant with Tony Stark, and Howard Stark was just like he was anxious about it, like he was ready to have a kid, and then Tony Stark he gave himself like a nickname, so then obviously he wouldn't use Tony Stark because,
Yeah.
and then his alias was
Howard Potts.
which I found, honestly, I found it cute.
Mm.
And I like the chemistry that they had. Even though they didn't know each other, they still had chemistry.
You look a little green around the gills there, Potts. Oh, fine. Just 1 hour. You want to get some air?
Hello, Potts.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really touching moment.
Me too. And I like the part when Captain America found Peggy there as well. I know I'm missing a part from that scene, but I forgot what. Oh. The Stan Lee cameo.
Where was it?
It was
Because-
it was during that scene.
I was looking all over the movie for the Stanley cameo.
So it was at the beginning of the scene when there was a car and then it had something on the back that said "Nuff said," and that was a Stan Lee quote. And then the guy who looks at the camera and says, that was Stan Lee.
Oh shit, it was?
Yes. I noticed it as soon as I looked at him, and as soon as I saw the quote, and that was one of his quotes from the comics. But anyway, back to where I was. So then Captain Marvel holds onto the Iron Gauntlet, and then is trying to go into the Ant-Man van, but then Thanos destroys it, and then Captain Marvel and go head to head and start fighting it out. And then it looked like Captain Marvel was about to like destroy him, but then
He was
Thanos.
so damn.
Then Thanos grabbed the. I think he put on the gauntlet before then, and then he took out the Power Stone, punched her out of the movie. Completely punched her out of the movie.
Wow, you guys sure are lucky to have me. Don't worry, I'll take care of this Thanos problem.
My brother said that was his favorite part. That was his favorite part in the movie. He hates Captain Marvel in the MCU. I do too.
I think a dam broke, and then water started spilling, but then Doctor Strange turned it into a tornado so then it wouldn't get on anyone. And then Tony Stark looked at Doctor Strange, and then Doctor Strange pulled up the one finger. Before that happened, like at least 10 minutes before that happened, as soon as Tony Stark found Doctor Strange, he said,
"You said 1 out of 14 million we win, yeah? Tell me this is it."
And then Doctor Strange says,
If I tell you what happens, it won't happen.
You better be right.
and then
he just puts up the one.
Tony Stark knew that he had to sacrifice himself. And then that's when Thanos said,
I am inevitable.
Then nothing happens, and then he looks at the gauntlet. The stones are gone, and Tony Stark puts up his hand up, and then the stones start getting onto his hand.
I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man.
He snaps Thanos and his army out of existence. And then this is the most heartbreaking scene.
Killed me.
Tony Stark did it, but half of his body got burnt badly during the snap, and then Peter, Spider-Man, he walked up to him, and then he said,
Mr. Stark, can you hear me? It's Peter. We won. Mr. Stark. We won. You did it, sir. You did it.
and
They start crying.
Tony Stark just looked dazed, like he didn't know what was going on, like he was just shell-shocked. And then Pepper walks up, and then he recognizes her, and like he's literally the only one that he's talking to, and he says, "Hey," and stuff.
Friday.
Tony.
Look at me. You can rest now.
His arc reactor just dies out, and then that was basically some of him dying. And then the most fan service was during his funeral. The first thing that pops up was a flower bed down at the river near his house, and it's the thing from Iron Man 1, the thing that says proof that Tony Stark has a heart. And that almost got me crying.
I was already crying the second I saw him burnt. Twice. I cried the same 3 times that I did both. So technically I cried 6 times. If you want to count both times I saw Endgame, because I cried 3 times in both of them. And those when Black Widow died, when Iron Man died, and then at the very end of
Well, we
Endgame.
can't get there. We can't get there yet. All right.
I said at the very end.
Yeah, we'll get there. And then the camera pans out and shows everyone that's at the funeral: Professor Hulk, Hawkeye, the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yeah, dude, remember how many, have you gone on the websites and like seen so many people like, who the hell is this kid?
I mean, I always knew. I've known it for months.
That was what I suggested, and that's why I like thought who he was, and then wasn't too sure until it was confirmed.
All right, and then everyone was there, and then he pre-recorded a little death thing on one of his helmets.
Everybody wants a happy ending, right? But it doesn't always roll that way. Maybe this time. I'm hoping if you play this back, it's in celebration I hope families are reunited. I hope we get it back and something like a normal version of the planet has been restored. If there ever was such a thing. God, what a world. Universe now. If you told me 10 years ago that we weren't alone, let alone, you know, to this extent, I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised, but come on, no. And for better or worse, that's the reality Morgan's gonna have to find a way to grow up in.
So I thought I'd probably better record a little greeting in the case of an untimely death on my part. I mean, not that death at any time isn't untimely. This time travel thing that we're going to try and pull off tomorrow, it's got me scratching my head about the survivability of it all. That's the thing. What am I even tripping for? Everything's going to work out exactly the way it's supposed to. I love you 3,000.
Do you know that all 20 not all 2021, right? Yeah. All if you combine all the time, it's 3,000 minutes. I'm asking for my birthday for my brother to get me this shirt. But like my mom asked me, Kevin, did you order something off Amazon? And then she said, oh no, your brother did. And I went, yeah.
And then Happy was there at the funeral as well, and then he was talking to Morgan Stark.
You hungry?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Cheeseburgers.
And then as soon as she said cheeseburgers, I was like, that was also a reference to Iron Man 1, and I almost cried. From her saying cheeseburgers.
Because the first thing he wanted when he got back was a cheeseburger.
I don't have to do anything. I've been in captivity for 3 months. There are 2 things I want to do. I want an American cheeseburger.
That's enough of that.
It's not what you think. I want you to call for a press conference now.
Call for a press conference?
Yeah. Hogan,
what on
drive.
earth for?
Cheeseburger first.
You know, your dad likes cheeseburgers.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you all the cheeseburgers you want.
Okay.
That was great.
And then after the funeral, Captain America put on the time travel suit because he needed to put back all the stones in Mjolnir. And then when it was time for him to come back, nothing happened. It was stay in the past so then he can live out his life the way that he wanted to with Peggy Carter. And then what we see is an old man at a bench, but it's an older version of Captain America.
Hi, Sam. So did something go wrong or did something go right?
Well, after I put the stones back, I thought...
I went back.
Some of that sweet life that Tony was telling me to get.
How'd that work out for you?
It was beautiful.
And then what he has is his shield, but he's passing it down to Falcon.
In a world without Captain America.
Oh. That reminds me. Try
How's it feel? Like it belongs to someone else. It doesn't.
Thank you. I'll do my best. You want to tell me about her?
No. No, I don't think I will.
Don't let your kids watch it!
And then it shows Peggy Carter and Steve finally
That was just the
having
time where I cried, and I was bawling my eyes out so much. Like, that's the best ending to any movie of all time. Better than the ending to Forrest Gump.
It
Oh
was
my
the
God,
best
it was.
I've ever watched in my whole entire life. No one can ever change my opinion. I also missed. Missed another part from the final battle.
I missed the part.
Spider-Man finally saying, "Turn on instant kill."
Activate instant kill!
Yeah, why didn't he just do that on Thanos?
Cause I don't think he wanted to kill him. That's the thing. But then when he came back, he knew that he needed to do it. That was my favorite part. Oh man. I love that. I love that line.
We
That was,
finally saw how insta kill played out.
oh yeah,
So I
it was.
wonder if he had the legs all the time, or if or if the Stark, or if the normal Homecoming Stark suit had its own version of insta kill, or like if it had the legs all the time.
That's what I was wondering. I wanted to see how unique each suit would be with their own instant kill. Probably the webs, for all I know, for the Stark suit.
Yeah, it would probably be just what's the little what's he called, the little spider drum? I'm just gonna call it spider drum for now.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but maybe it comes out and then spurts a bullet out.
Honestly, Endgame was the best movie in cinema. It is the best movie in cinema, and one of my favorite movies I've ever watched in my whole entire life. I absolutely loved it. I recommend it. And to movie fans or like anyone in general.
Well, to movie fans, you have to watch like all of them, but still.
I mean, yeah, but still, either way, I do very much recommend it. And that was our Avengers Endgame food review. Do you have any last thoughts before we log off?
No, exactly, no.
Alright, thank you very much for joining us on this lovely food review. But we must get going now, especially me. I need to go take a shower.
Yeah, I gotta head back.
Alright, okay, let's wrap it up. Alright, thank you very much for watching this food review. This movie was absolutely amazing. It was an absolute journey. I grew up with these characters, believe it or not, but I absolutely loved Avengers Endgame, and I recommend it to literally everyone. Everyone I know and everyone that I don't know, I recommend it. So, yeah, again, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Normal videos will pop up soon. I'm not entirely sure when, more than likely during the summer. If I can get back in contact with sumNNIT Productions, which I finally have. So yeah, they will be up and running at some point. So don't you guys worry about that. All right. See you guys next time. I hope you all had an amazing day today and for a better one tomorrow. See ya.
Does that look like me? It has boobs.